Namaste. Welcome to the Advaita channel of the Sangha of Being. Ananta Ki Jai, Sangha Ki Jai. Welcome, welcome. I'm Atma. Today I will continue with reading from the Song of the Avadhut. We are on the second chapter today. So I hope audio and video are okay, so we can I can start. So we are on the second chapter of Song of the Avadhut by Dattatreya. So let's start. Namaste, Stacy. Namaste. Welcome, and I'm happy you're here with me, being together in this adventure of the Avadhut. As I said, now I'm starting with the second chapter. So let us begin. I hope audio is okay. You may be young, unlearned, and addicted to pleasures. You may be a servant or a householder, it doesn't matter. Does a jewel require a guru in order to be valuable? Or is it worthless simply because it's covered with mud? He immediately says, whatever you are, whatever you feel, in whatever state you are same self. You may lack learning or literary skill. You don't require such qualities as these. Hold fast to the truth and let go of all else. Even an unpainted boat will take you across. Thank you, Stacy, for confirmation. Thank you. The self appears as both the animate and the inanimate world, yet it always remains in its own peaceful state. It is always pure consciousness, as calm as the sky. Though appearing as the animate and inanimate world, the self remains forever one. Where then is the division? There is no duality. It is clear to me. It's all one. Indeed, I'm the highest truth. I'm Shiva. I contain the world, both subtle and gross. I do not come, nor do I go. I have no movement. I have no form. It's totally clear. This speaks from the space awareness. I am unaffected by my component parts. Therefore, though the gods may worship me, I am perfect wholeness. I recognize no distinctions such as gods. He speaks from the place of the self, where even gods are seen. That's the awareness, the absolute. Neither doubt nor ignorance can cause the slightest ripple in me. Let the modification of the mind continue to occur. They are merely bubbles rising to the surface of a pond. Actually, he said nothing happened, and nothing ever happens. Let all this seeming world be there. Let the mind be there. It's just nothing. The ephemeral elements that form all things manifest in many different ways. Some things appear soft, others hard. Some things appear sweet and others sour. It's all nothing. The qualities of clearness, coldness, and softness are but qualities of water. Likewise, matter and spirit are but qualities of the one existence. Beyond all speech, beyond all names, beyond the subtlest of all subtle things, beyond mind, intellect, and the five senses, the stainless Lord of the universe remains ever one. And we are that. We are even that which we are that which sees even the light. Even the light is not ultimate. It is seen by us, by you. So who are we? It cannot be seen through the two physical eyes. It cannot be perceived by the eyes of the body, but it can be recognized by itself. If the universal self becomes known, how could I continue to be? How could you, or the sentient and insentient world, still be? The self is said to be like the sky. Indeed, it is like the sky. It's pure consciousness without any stain. It is truly the all-embracing whole. It cannot be said nothing about, actually it can be said about. All words are about the self, pointing to the self, to the awareness. It cannot be transferred in the words. All teachings and words are just pointing to the self, to be recognized by itself. In each of us, in each of the body, has to be recognized by each of us. It remains unaffected, though it takes the form of earth, air, water, and fire. Though it takes all these forms, it remains always the same. It means it never changes. Even if it appears in different forms, it never loses its own quality of being nothing of it, in which it, as it appears. All infinite space is pervaded by the self, but nothing else pervades the self. It is simultaneously within and without. It cannot be limited or divided in parts. It's extremely subtle and cannot be seen. It's primary to all qualities, the yogis say. It is the state that underlines all the temporary states of the mind. By practicing yoga unceasingly, without attachment to anything, little by little, a yogi is freed from all effects of the qualities, in brackets gunas. Against the dreadful poison on worldly lusts, which deludes men's minds, there is only one antidote, the nectarian awareness of the independent self. This is beautifully said. I remember Muji also saying this in one video, reading from the Avadhut. I still remember his voice, against the dreadful poison of worldly lust, which deludes men's minds, there is only one antidote, the nectarian awareness of the independent self. The subtle images are seen within, and the manifold forms are seen without. But the independent experiencer of both is known by all seers as the inner self. It says that everything what is seen inside, like images, like feelings, emotions, memory, and everything which is seen like outside, like manifested world, matter, forms, all is seen by the seers as the, and known by all seers as the inner self. Means everything this appears in the self, inner and outer, so-called inner and so-called outer world, are all manifesting itself in the space of the self. So ultimately, there is no out and in. Everything is one, because everything is only the self. Experience without is the universe. Experience within is the power of life. And deep within that inner life, the real milk of the coconut resides. The outer knowledge is of the coconut's husk. The subtler knowledge is of the meat within. And concealed within that subtle core is the coconut milk of consciousness, the self. So beautifully expressed. So I will repeat. The outer knowledge is of the coconut husk. We can imagine mentally. The subtler knowledge is of the meat within. And concealed within that subtle core is the coconut milk of consciousness, the self. Like so hidden in the core, it's the consciousness, the self. On a full moon night, the moon is seen by unhazed eyes as one alone. The reality should also be seen this way, where two are seen, that sight's impaired. Because there is one and only one. The mind which perceives two is false. He who teaches this is truly great. He deserves 1,000 accolades. A guru gives the gift of wisdom to both the wise and the foolish man, but only he crosses over this ocean of life who attains the knowledge of truth for himself. So we have, all of us have to recognize and attain it inside of us, every one of us, for each of us, for only one, for us, for himself. In each of the body, this knowledge of the self has to be recognized by itself. So Guru cannot give us the knowledge, can only point and to the untruth and make us see what is untrue in us still, so that all what is still false and untrue dissolves in his presence, and what remains is the pure self. So the knowledge cannot be given in that way in teaching, but can be transmitted in the energetical transmission in the presence of the Guru. So the presence, physical also, living presence of the Guru is very important. He who is free from attachment, free from hate, engaged in securing the good of all, firm in knowledge and steady of mind, will reach at last to the high state. The space inside the jar merges in the space outside. When the jar is destroyed, the yogi, when the body destroyed, merges into the universal consciousness, his own true self. So there is nowhere where we can go. Even what we see and call the death, it's only the physical dissolution of the body. But where we go, we are always here as a consciousness itself. The destiny of those devoted to action is the result of their thought at the end of their life. But the destiny of a yogi established in unity, it's not determined by his thought at the end. Yogi means yoga means union, the ultimate union. And yogi is one who experiences this union with all and everything in the universe. So he said, but the destiny of a yogi establishing a unity is not determined by his thought at the end. Means whatever he may think, but because he's establishing unity, the thought that whatever he thinks at the end of his life will not determine his final destination, to dissolve into the consciousness. One may express in speech the destiny of those devoted to actions, but the destiny of those established in yoga cannot be told. They go beyond speech, because yoga is ultimate unity. A yogi has no particular path. He simply renounces imagining things. He simply renounces imagining things. His mind then ceases of its own accord, and the perfect state just naturally occurs. Because he says yogis renounces imagining things. The only thing we have to renounce is to imagine the false to be real. It's not actually that false can become real and we discover the real. We just stop imagining that which is not real to be real, because we are imagining our lives as we think our lives has to be. We are imagining things as we want them to be. We don't see them as they are. So if we renounce these imagining things, we are already in truth. Simple. Wherever a yogi may meet his end, whether beside a holy river or in an outcast hut, his births are thought. He merges in Brahman. He who has realized the innate, unborn, incomprehensible self never becomes stained while enjoying the fruits of his desires. He remains always free of stain, free of karma. The ascetic, concentrated one of the self is never found. It means after the realization of the inner nature of the self, one can do whatever, enjoy whatever, but he never becomes again unconscious. So he can consciously live and play his life. He goes beyond illusion, beyond comparison, beyond form, beyond any sport, beyond the body and its nourishment, beyond duality, fear, desire, and powers. It's the law, the self, the eternal he attains. I repeat this. He goes beyond illusion, beyond comparison. Illusion is illusion to be this body. He goes beyond this illusion of being the body, beyond comparison, beyond form, beyond any support, beyond the body and its nourishment, beyond duality, fear, desire, and powers. It's the Lord, the self, the eternal he attains. Yes, my love. Namaste, Amba. There is a link. Just there is a Hangout link. Just a moment. I posted on my timeline, and if you want, I will give you right now. Just let me copy this one. Okay. Just a moment. I will post it here on YouTube. Sorry. Or you can see, just a moment. Okay, here it is. So I'll post it for you. Okay. So you can join. Okay. His attainment is not the Vedas, nor initiation, nor a clean shaven head. He says his attainment is not in outside visible things. It is not a guru or disciples or bountiful treasures or the practice of postures or the bearing of ashes. It's the Lord, the Self, the Eternal he attains. He goes beyond all of this visible signs and he attains the pure perfection of the Self. He does not envision the form of great Shiva or Shakti or any other gods. He does not see Kundalini or light forms or the feet of God, nor does he perceive his own soul like a jar with its contents. It's the Lord, the Self, the Eternal he attains. He says that all these things are all experiences we might have, like seeing Shiva or Shakti or light or Kundalini, or are only experiences. But the Self is not experience. It's beyond all of this. So we may have beautiful experiences, but still it's only on the way. It's not, they are not the Self. That is the essence from which the sentient and insentient universe is born. It is like the ocean which gives birth to the foam on its surface. It is that by which everything is maintained and dissolved. It is the Lord, the Self, the Eternal he attains. His attainment is not breath. He's speaking about our attainment. His attainment is not breath, control, or fixed states, or yogic postures. Nothing becomes learned or unlearned at all. His attainment is not the purification of the nerves. It is the Lord, the Self, the Eternal he attains. He attains that is which has no form, which has never manifested. That which manifests itself through the form, but by itself it's not seen. It never manifests. He's untouched. That is the Self we are. He does not attain a many or a one that is separate from himself. It is not something other, like an object with length and breadth. It cannot be objectively proven or compared with anything. It is the Lord, the Self, the Eternal he attains. He may or may not attain concentration. He may or may not attain freedom from the senses. He may or may not abandon all actions. It's the Lord, the Self, the Eternal he attains. Beyond mind, intellect, body, and sense organs, beyond the subtle elements and the 5 gross elements, beyond the sense of ego, and even the ethereal body, it is the Lord, the Self, the Eternal he attains. Transcending all dictates, he abides in the Self. His mind becomes free of the thought of duality. Neither purity, nor impurity, nor distinction of sex, nor fortune, nor misfortune has any meaning for him, because everything is him. If the mind and speech can't reveal the Self, how could the Guru's teaching reveal the Self? How could the Guru reveal with words that essence of existence, which is self-illuminating? As I said before, the words are only pointings to the Self, because the Self cannot be spoken. It can just be pointed. In this song of the Avadhut, composed by Sri Dattatreya in this instruction of the wisdom of the Self, this is the 2nd chapter. You can read just a little bit of the chapter 3. Let's see what he says here. Always the same thing, but in a different ways. The distinction between with the qualities and without qualities does not exist in him. He is beyond both attachment and non-attachment. Stainless, he is beyond all forms. He is beyond both qualities and the absence of qualities. Through formless, he is the substance of all forms. So how can I worship that Shiva who exists everywhere like space? And whom to worship? Hmm. Shiva is not white or yellow. He has no color at all. That supreme Shiva is both the cause and the effect. Truly, I'm beyond the process of thought. I am Shiva. Tell me, friend, how can I bow the self unto the self? And he's never, remember always, he's speaking about you. I'm not neither beginningless or without beginning. I'm a sun that never sets. I'm neither constellate nor unconstellate. I'm a sun that never sets. I'm neither illumined or unillumined. I'm a sun that never sets. I'm nectarian knowledge, unchanging bliss. I'm everywhere like space. I'm desireless with desire. How shall I speak of that? I am untouched with attachment. How shall I speak of that? I have no substance, and yet I have. What shall I say of that? I am nectarian knowledge, unchanging bliss. I'm everywhere like space. These words can be only drunk deeply, just drunk, and become drunk of them. So only then we can truly understand what is hidden behind these words. The knowledge, the nectar, the pure self. I'm undivided, yet I'm very separate form. What shall I say of that? I'm divided, yet I'm in everything. What shall I say of that? I'm both eternal and non-eternal. What shall I say of that? I'm nectarian knowledge, unchanging bliss. I'm everywhere like space. I'm neither gross nor subtle. I neither come or go. I have no beginning, end, or middle. I'm neither great nor small. I'm telling all the secrets of the supreme reality. I'm nectarian knowledge, unchanging bliss. I'm everywhere like space. Know well that all sense organs are made of emptiness. There is nothing, nothing, nothing. Know well that all sense objects are likewise emptiness. Know well that I am the stainless one. I am neither bound nor free. I'm nectarian knowledge, unchanging bliss. I'm everywhere like space. I'm beyond intellect. I would like to say, from now on, we can speak in this way. I am not only speak, but see like ourselves as the self, which is beyond everything, yet in everything, but untouched by anything. I am beyond the intellect and inaccessible to the intellect, inaccessible to the intellect. It cannot reach to me. I am beyond vision and inaccessible to vision. It cannot reach to me. I am nectarian knowledge, unchanging bliss. I'm everywhere like space. So I feel to stop here. It's almost already nectar inside. So it wants to be felt on a deeper level. So I would just stop here. And thank you for being here with me in this journey on the wings of the divine poetry of the Avadhut. It speaks itself to itself and for itself and for nobody else by itself. So this is a beautiful journey of the self, through the self, from the self to the self, in the form of divine poetry, in the words of the Song of the Avadhut by Dattatreya. Thank you, Stacy, so much also. I love you so much. It's so beautiful, this love. Without words, actually, without need, and ever pervading love. So thank you so much. Thank you. Ananta ki jai, Sangha ki jai. Thank you. Love you.